Alright. Get to first. So, this is now not the first time that I have tried doing this. As you can see, it's like 5-6% clean. I can just tell. So yeah, like I've got about halfway through this already. But then I got 20 minutes and it crashed. It was just waffling for the most part, trying to work out kind of where to start. So I'll start with this after my warm up waffle, effectively. Good way to warm up waffles. I'm a nobody. I'm just an average guy here. I'm using this more as an outlet to get some thoughts out, and that's largely it. Don't expect really high intelligence. Literally, that kind of told you everything. Don't expect high intelligence. Yep. Conversations. Just it's that if you just want something random to listen to and you think this will work, brilliant, fantastic. That's what I'm pleased that you're listening, but otherwise I'm not really too bothered. So yeah, I'm not going to try and do anything or say anything too. I'm going to try and avoid stuff too serious, but I do tend to go into some serious tirades. But again, I'm not I'm not just a guy. It's just opinions more than anything else. I'll probably be talking about if anything does come up. The key points of the bit that is now lost, the audio that is now lost. It's 20 minutes to kind of get to the one of the key points, which is ended up just talking about how I am worried that like we're hitting like period of just hate, where because it's so profitable and the internet's made it so easy to make content and connect with people who share hateful opinions and thoughts. That we are in a period where just people are just going to really profit off it even harder than what they have been. So obviously there was plenty of hate before, but I just feel like we're entering a period where that's pretty much all it is. I am worried about that. Which the point of that was, the whole reason that came up was largely because I was saying just from talk about games. It doesn't even feel like I can talk about something that's meant to be pure entertainment and fun without people talking and taking stuff too far. You can't just talk about games and mechanics and things you do and don't like. So like I was talking about, this was literally right before the recording happened, broke. I was literally here and the frame rate was really bad. It's not great now, I'm sure, but it literally wasn't moving. So stays half an hour. I might actually have to start doing this even quicker. But anyway, so literally, what was I now? So yeah, Connor, for example, in Assassin's Creed 3, like that was like a character that I know, like when people make arsehole characters, and there's a way that you can frame it around their identity as to why you don't like them. People seem to do that a lot. But like Connor was the first example of someone who I just really didn't like as a character, and it's just how he treated the people around him. Like, he had nothing to do with anything outside of that. He just they made him in a way that like it's like why are you being so horrible to the people who are actually trying to help? Like, this is someone who I should be feeling, more connected with, and you're making it into a character that I just can't vibe with at all. Can I open this? Lift. Okay. But yeah, because I know like some people have been like, oh, it's because it's a woman. If it was a man, you bothered. Well, actually, no, because that guy was a man and he was also just an absolute arsehole that I absolutely did not like. And it just doesn't matter. And it's alright if like you do something like make them at least funny and entertaining. When you like do crazy characters that are like so over the top, it's comical. I feel like that can work. But yeah, generally speaking, just having characters that are just not likable and they're just horrible to people. They're trying to help and show no appreciation to the people who are around them. You see, there's a lot of talk at the minute, like about characters in games and blah blah blah. And to be fair, one of the things that like sparked this off was if I just like look at some of Ubisoft games are probably the best examples at the minute because it's like they had like you had high expectations with something like with something like Star Wars Outlaws, and yeah, I know for a fact like there were a lot of people that didn't like that because you know they were like, oh my god, female character don't like it. Yeah, there were people that are, and sure, yeah. Ultimately, if you're marketing to a demographic, first of all, know your audience. Like that is just that is not that is no offense to anyone or anything like that. Just know your audience. And if you're not going to know your audience, and then you get upset when they get upset about even if it's stupid stuff, well, you've made that silly decision to not market it towards the audience. That's what marketing needs to do. It needs to know its audience. It needs to know its demographic that it's going to try and sell something to and focus on it. And if you're not going to do that, then you're going to get criticism. But the worst thing for me was with might as well have been called Assassin's Creed fucking Star Wars, because that was kind of like one of my big issues with it is I heard those comments, and bear in mind I've not played the game. I'm not going to play the game. I've got no interest. But I didn't have interest because of the character. I did lose interest before the game was released, but I lost interest because the game was released because the name itself envisions you to be part of this whole outlaw space, and you're not. Like, you're just a generic hero. Practically, that's how it pretty much feels. Just another generic hero in the outlaw space. That's how it feels. I know it's like, oh well, no, I'm not exactly a hero. It's like, well, you kind of are. You can't do. It's not like GTA or Cyberpunk where you really can do some dodgy stuff, and the stuff that you're seeing is really dodgy and it's really dark and it's not nice content, but it's adult content and it's content that does replicate a darker underbelly that I presume would exist in the outlaw space, and it just doesn't have that at all. And so I think from a thematic point of view, it failed. But then, even from a gameplay point of view, which is what really lost me on it, like, because I didn't know really how weak it was. And to be fair, this was the first indication that we're going to be weak when it comes to actually encapsulating this outlaw kind of vibe, despite its name, is like it was the stealth mechanics, the fact that they just forced that in. And it's not like you use a little mini lightsaber to take people out and stab them in the neck, which would be kind of cool, but, yeah, it'd still be pretty Assassin's Creed-y, but, it's cool, at least you're ruthless. But you just fucking punch them. You punch them, that is it. The creature was cool. I liked the creature. I can't remember what the creature was called. Again, I lost interest. It was just the fact of how samey it was to all the other titles. So, for me, a bigger problem when it comes to some stuff like that, particularly with larger games, is just not thinking about players, not thinking about how it feels to play a game, the themes that they want to hit and capture, not thinking like a player, they're thinking, I don't even know what like really. They're definitely not thinking like a player. They're just thinking, I guess, like an employee. That's how they're thinking. Thinking like this is a job that needs doing, not a game I want to play. I think that's a huge problem. But what's worse is like you do have games like, and this is why like I hate the serious political stuff being used in games, because in a lot of cases it's nothing to do with that. People parade it like it's all to do with this, it's all to do with identity on both sides of the spectrum, and I hate it. I hate left and right in and of itself. I think politics is way more diverse than two, a binary explanation, but I'll digress from that. As I said, I'm not an intellectual person and I don't really want to get too serious on stuff like that. But, for ease of argument, I guess, yeah, when you got left and right and they're both like thinking they're getting wins over each other because of different games, it's like you do realise it's like not really. Yeah, I don't want to be preached like my games. Like, yeah, of course I don't. If you're going to put political stuff in my games, do it in a way that's engaging and immersive. Don't force feed bullshit that I may or may not agree with, because I'm an individual and people have individual thoughts, opinions, and experiences. Don't denounce people who just also do that, because a lot of game journalists just do the exact same thing as this as well. They definitely don't help. They've lost off my faith just because they don't talk about it from a gamer point of view, talk about it from a political point of view, and I hate that. It's like, I'm a gamer, I'm not a politician. I'm not playing games to find out what I should believe or think, or what, what I mean. Like, I'm playing games to have fun. That's it. All that's kind of exhausting. But yeah, so and they've ruined the credibility for me larger because of that, and because I would disagree with the scores. But I think the scores are quite literally very politically motivated, and they reflect that as well, which means I can't really trust them. And there is the argument, it's just a person. Yeah, it is, but it's still a person on behalf of a larger entity. But they do make a good point. Yeah, it's an individual YouTuber is going to give me a better opinion on what games I want and will vibe with than a collective mind of a company like IGN or Kotaku or anyone like that. So you're right to a certain degree, but it doesn't mean that I should listen to you either. If anything, it supports the idea of not listening to you. You're right, it's just a person with an opinion, and I don't have to agree with it. So I'll find a person that I'm more likely to agree with then. So that way, when I'm trying to make a decision on what to get, I've got an informed decision. For me, Skill Up's pretty decent. Legendary Drops, he's been pretty much down my alley with a lot of game choices as well. Like, so there are people out there that I can watch and listen to and react to and take their opinions off. Asmongold, not someone I'd take my opinion off. Not because I don't actually, I've watched him, listened to him, but it's just the type of games he's interested in. It's not the type of games I'm interested in. He's interested in combat heavy games that I've got to work, so I don't want to come home and play something that's going to be stressful, basically. So yeah, but he loves that shit. So all power to him. People do. I can acknowledge even that some of the games are good that you might play, but they're just not games that I'll personally enjoy. And I think that's the other thing is like sometimes people are like, oh, well, if I don't like it, and there's a group of people that don't like it, the game's not good. It's like, no, it might just not be a game for you. Power Simulator, absolutely freaking amazing game in my opinion. Right, I'm stuck. This is not a good time to get stuck when I'm trying to say how good it is. Hold on. Ow. Put myself in the sink. Power, really good game. Ignore this. I will get out, I'm sure. I better. But no, it's very satisfying. Doesn't need I don't know how big the audience is, I'm not sure, but it's a satisfying game. It's got an audience there that really like it, hence why I'm doing a second book. But not everyone's going to like this. I wouldn't expect everyone to like this. Not in the nicest way to the developer. See, I told you I got out. So I wasn't even stuck. It was me. That was a me problem, not a developer. Yeah. So yeah, like it's a nice, relaxing game. I can just clean shit and talk, without worrying about much else. There's something quite nice about that. But yeah, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Absolutely not. I read that at first as that this £4.20 was the employee of the month. So I was like looking at that and thinking, who's named £4.20? They're saying that the bunny is employee of the month. I've seen the name below it, but I'm just maybe I had to think of it there. I said I'm not very clever. But yeah, so yeah, I lost that game before it was released, but it was because it was just lacking in creativity, and I think that's what a lot of stuff does now. Like even when I think of Starfield, I played Starfield. I ended up buying Game Pass to play it because I didn't play it on release. I wasn't really interested in Starfield before release, if I'm being honest. I wasn't sure if I would like it. I do love the Elder Scrolls series, but it's fantasy, and this one's in space, which, bar a high role-playing experience like Mass Effect, I tend not to care much about. It just doesn't interest me, the art style and stuff in space. It just doesn't. Like Markiplier, I don't just think about space, although he thinks about space without moons. He doesn't want moons in his space. He wants all the moons across all space eliminated. I mean, that's evident, But yeah, like he. What was I saying? Hold on. What was I saying now? What was I saying? I was saying something. Let it come back. Wait for the next train. I'm keeping this all in. This is going to be unedited, by the way. Partly because I can't be bothered. I'll be honest. So you're going to get raw, uncut footage of just me half cleaning in Power Simulator, talking about games in my low monotone voice because my wife's sleeping upstairs. And I'm trying to not wake her too much. Although I think she's awake. I've heard the bed. So I'll have to hurry up. She's going to probably message me in a minute. Yeah, no, she's definitely right. But yeah, at Starfield, it's like when that came out and I played that, there was just questionable decisions, like this large space of procedurally generated stuff, and the procedurally generated stuff is just like very samey, and you don't have a buggy. Like, why don't you have a buggy at the start? The way that the interactions felt less organic than what they did in Skyrim. There's lots of stuff that you could like craft and get, but lots of space to explore, sure, but like what's in them? I don't know. It just didn't feel like they really thought about it from the point of view of a gamer, and I loved Bethesda games back in times of Skyrim, and Oblivion was like one of my still is, hence why I'm waiting for the remaster. Assuming it comes out today, I'm really it moved. Oh, just want the yellow nozzle. Yeah, assuming like that's something or other. What I'm saying. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. There's lots of junk you can pick up. It's not clear whether or not you can use the junk. There's lots of crafting materials, but like you can't craft a lot of it very easy. It's a game that has a lot of good ideas, but like actual gameplay implementation of those is often lacking. And I just think like that's just I'm not thinking about it from a gamer's point of view, from a player's point of view. Someone who's actually doing this, like you're actually going to want to, because really you want to collect all the scrap because you're giving those loads of stuff to craft with, right? And you've designed it in a lot of ways. You've got similar design elements to your Elder Scrolls series, right? Which isn't necessarily a problem. But what do people do? Like Skyrim and stuff are, well, I end up like just collecting everything, so I can just go and do a load of like crafting and stuff like that. Well, you're gonna kind of want to do that, but like you got even more. You got spacecrafts. You don't have a buggy to do all this. You got a fancy mining device, but not a buggy. I know I've done the buggy, but it's like it wasn't on release. It's like that was such an obvious quick win. The way that things interact, such an obvious thing just to include. Like the whole settlement stuff. It's like settlement. I don't know. Like that shouldn't have been a priority for this first installment. You've got to get the concept first. Down. Hello, Mr. Noob. Hello, Mr. Noob. How you doing? Well, not gonna get anything for you. Got plenty of water. About 23 minutes. But I'm always awake, so I don't know. I'm gonna get this finished before 76%. Might do. But I don't think I will. I've got a funny feeling in 7 minutes. I also don't want it to crash again. So what I might have to do, stop it, secure this recording, and then come back. But don't worry, it'll be still pretty much unedited. Might go just check my wife before I start recording again, unless I don't do any more and the video ends here. And then in that case, I'm not doing any more recording, and because she wanted to go out somewhere today, so I might be going there, which will occupy me between now and then. But I'm kind of wanting to do something similar to this, a bit more, just to get these ideas. Again, it's just almost a me diary. I'm just talking rubbish. Maybe someone will like it. Which if you do, thank you, I guess. I'll probably do it more, I guess. But I'll be honest, I'm doing it more for me than anyone else at this stage, because I really need to get these thoughts off my head and stuff. And I've done this a few times, but not actually released the videos, because I'm trying to edit them and make them look good. And it's like, as soon as I got the thoughts out, I then forget about them and never actually finish what I'd started. So if the finish point is me just talking, then at least I can release it, I guess, to anyone who might care. Because then I do always feel like, oh well, I started it, but I've not done all. The whole plan was I meant to do more with it. I just never finish it. I just end up getting distracted with something else. But yeah. I just want to do the walls. Okay. There we go. But yeah. But no, I just think it's ridiculous on both fronts. It's like you can't defend a bad game, like Outlaws and Starfield and stuff like that. You can't defend a bad game, but equally, like you get stupid stuff like Witcher 4's announced, and then you've got the other side being just as fucking stupid. Being like, oh my god, because it's got 1 minute, it's therefore bad. It's like, no, don't be a fucking retard. No, that's not how it works. Like, that Ciri was always going to be the protagonist, that was obvious. Like, I'm sorry, like, it just always was, that was probably what was going to happen. It's clearly what they were building towards. It's coming from a studio that did, like, Cyberpunk, which is also a really good game, that you could argue, isn't just, is, I don't really want to say the word, but, like, people argue that it's the best, like, woke and anti-woke is effective what they're doing. I do think it's coming to an end to a degree, but again, I don't think the hate from that's ending. I think that's like manifesting in other ways, and it's just going to come up with another term, same skin, different monster, that it keeps doing, really. It's been doing for a while, whether it's, Red Pill, Manosphere, stuff like that. I'm not even saying it's all men. It's not, nor am I even saying that I don't even have certain points that are sometimes valid. That's kind of the issue, is like sometimes I can even agree with them. Like, I don't know how you can have a defence for something like Veilguard personally when it is trying to preach, but yeah, at the same time, and don't get me wrong, I know people like, oh, it's like one scene, and because I don't really care. Still, I don't care if it's one scene or two. It's like it's very clear. Like, and it's not like the other dialogue options have like saved it either, to make it seem diverse. With diverse opinions and lived in, it does feel more preachy than not else. That's just how it is. And yeah, that is going to turn me off again because I've got limited cash and limited time, so I'm not going to spend that on something that's going to try and tell me what to think. Just like I'm not going to let idiots that think that Ciri being the main protagonist in Witcher 4 is going to impact me. Like, it isn't. It's so what? Or west of midnight. As far as I can see, that seems really solid. To be fair, I actually really appreciate it. It's got a relationship dynamic between a daughter and a mum, and like I like these different relationships being explored. I loved it for Kratos and what's his name now? I can't believe I can't remember his name. I want to say Starion, but I know that's wrong. But Kratos and his son, like in God of War, and that won 2018 in Ragnarok, basically. I can't believe I can't remember his name. That's going to bug me. I know for a fact people can be like, can you remember his name? Yeah, because I've got a shit memory. It's nothing to do with anything else than that, trust me. Horrendous memory. I get told off for it a lot. But yeah, like, it's, that was a really good relationship dynamic to explore. And I don't know. I really appreciate games that explore different relationships like that aren't romantic. But, there's plenty of love there. I think, there is care, there's development of the characters, of their relationships, of them understanding each other. And they're complex. And I really are. I absolutely love it. And I think that's what South Midnight does, so I think South Midnight's solid. So I've lied, I've gone over the hour. I've at least messaged. Oh, my mouse is not moving. Why aren't you moving? That's moving. Oh, what's happened there? Is it not on the screen? No. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going a little over because I'd like started part of the point and haven't really fully finished it. But yeah, Seven Midnight explores a different relationship, and I really actually appreciate that. Just like I appreciate Kratos exploring, his relationships and his personal growth for, his son. Which it's going to bug me so much. I'm going to have to look it up afterwards just to remind myself what the fuck his son's called. It's really irritating me now because I know for a fact I should know it. I know it's like spoilers, but I know he's effectively Loki, but I can't actually remember. Atreus, that's it. It was bugging me too much. I could not let go of the thought. But yeah, like Atreus, like Kratos and Atreus, I loved the storyline for that. I thought it was fantastic. But yeah, and I really appreciate games that like explore this. Ooh, pancakes, donuts, waffles. I've already waffled. Cakes, I'm not bothered about. What else have you got? Cones, ice cream, sundaes. Not actually interested in any of that. How much are they? What's your pricing? Are they free? What's your pricing? Pardon me, sorry. I can't see pricing anywhere. Clearly it's free. Thank you. Anyway, so switch my muzzle back to this one. I'll at least message my wife. I think she knows. I'm just waffling to nobody because I do it sometimes. I've tried this site a few times, but sorry, I've already this. But yeah. As I say, I'm like, oh no, I need to edit it because that's what people do on YouTube, and I'm like, I'm never going to do it. So instead, I'm just going to release, hope for the best. I mean, I say hope for the best. I don't really hope for anything. I just kind of think if I do that, then it doesn't feel like completely wasted because, like, I talk to myself all the time like this. I just in the kitchen and the thoughts just keep circling around in my head. But then putting it into a digital format and talking about it, it's like, well, I mean, I could do that and just share it out as long as it's like nothing like malicious intent, And as I say, people don't have to listen to it, but it's out there, I guess. Don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it's there. For me, like personal opinions and people's thoughts being out there, people need to explore them. Isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's whether or not they're comfortable with being out there. Sure. I like the idea of people listening that I'm just a newbody, as I said, so I'm not expecting it. But as I said, it's equally stupid on both sides of this argument, regardless. Because, like, if you go to the other side of it, like people are like, "Oh, why are they getting angry at?" Can't remember that Intergalactic or something. Same place, same trailer. Someone did a fucking amazing poster, by the way. Just on that complete side note, I saw it there, like masculinity poster. I thought it was fucking ace. Like, but actually for Galactica, I'm like, people are missing why that does give off the wrong vibes. And yes, they've done a bad job there. As I said, I never liked Connor as a character because he was just an arse to people that were trying to help. And that's exactly what the protagonist shows in that trailer. They show that the person that was there to help just feel like they're being a bit of a dick with them and a dick with the people around them. And yeah, it's you've gotta do it so well, and historically, generally, it's very hard to do that well. To make a bad character good is very, very difficult to do. Because you can't just make them crazy, because that doesn't always work. Um, you've got to give them something that's endearing, something that's good, and yeah, I just don't know if that'll come across. I don't really have faith personally that that's what they're going to pull that off. Maybe they do. If they do, great. But even so, it's also about how the rest of the game plays, and they showed none of the game. They showed this character that is questionably enjoyable with no gameplay from a company that was it. Sure, it's what should we call it? What company is it now? Naughty Dog. I think it's Naughty Dog, and I'm sure Naughty Dog did Last of Us 2, which I'm bringing that one up specifically because people did have issue with that. It felt like they changed the characters way in ways they shouldn't have done. I didn't play either of them. So I don't really have much of an opinion, but I think like when your own fan base has been let down by your decisions, and to the point that everyone knows about it, I think that's not a good sign. That doesn't give them confidence that you're going to do it. And I think this is the other difference when I think about it compared to that, and why I'm saying like for The Witcher, I don't agree with the community, but I can understand it. Like with the more right wing side of the opinion, I guess, because like with Witcher 3, it was obvious it was always going to be Siri. It's coming from a studio that's done a good job in a lot of stuff. It's been both inclusive and just made good gameplay choices, good story choices. So that kind of is alright, but I don't really get that with Naughty Dog. I don't feel they used to have a really good reputation, but I do think like that's died. It like peaked, because I can only go off what the people said. Because to be fair, like I didn't really play any of the games, but like for the most part, I got the people seem to like the games leading up to whatchamacallit, Last of Us 1. People loved Last of Us 1. It was obviously a fantastic instalment. That was evident by the accolade it got. I've never seen out because apparently it's story focused, so I didn't want to do it because I always intended to play it but just never got time. Or to be fair, I do have a copy now. It's about time now. It's an old game, and the second one came out, and like apparently ruined the first. So it's a harder, sell to get me to use some time to play that. Okay, right, okay. So I've done most of this now. But yeah, like Baldur's Gate 3 did a fantastic job of both being inclusive and creating like realistic characters, good characters, decent story, decent combat. And that's it. It's like some people do it somehow, some haven't. And that's largely what it is, And I just think like Naughty Dog's like lost that. I'm really done now. I knew the flip up counter. I saw this light when I came and did the other desk, so it's just this. Can I not? I can't open the counter. I saw the pop up. There we go. That. Right, that I did actually do. But yeah, so I do think that's the difference between two. I was like, one is fair to critique because they've obviously like let people down before, let their own customers down before. Oh, there we go. Whereas whereas the other one, whatchamacallit, people who made Cyberpunk, I can't remember the name now. Who was it? Project Red? Project Red? I think it was Project Red. Let me check. Positive Project Red. CG Project Red. Yeah, I'm right. I'm right. Along the right line. CG Project Red did a very good job, all things considered. So, like, I know Cyberpunk came out horrendous, but if you look at it just from a game point of view, good mechanics, solid story, solid DLC, done a lot of right with it overall. There's no reason to expect that they're not going to do that. Whereas, as I said, Naughty Dog just don't have that same reputation anymore, unfortunately. And I think that was it. And the two trailers, one still felt very focused on the theme that which was up before, and the other one, it was just an arsehole character again. So, yeah, that's that anyway. That's all I want to do a job and talk about it a bit. Yeah, if you're listening, fantastic. If you're not, you don't even know it exists, which is probably par for the course. Thank you for listening and watching or whatever. Oh, pardon me. Sorry. I'll start that again. Oh, wait, no. This is unedited. I'm just really sorry. I will start it again still. Because, yeah. Right. No. Cheers. Take care. Bye.